Hello everybody, my name is ODST and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Survival Season 2. It's been quite the minute since we last been in this world, and by quite the minute I mean it's been just about 2 months or so. I didn't mean to take a break for that long for uploading this game. I had been playing it here and there off camera, but you know, I got caught up doing other things, like playing other games like Halo Wars, which has gotten a huge amount of support, so thank you very much for all that support on those videos. But today, we are finishing our project here, our town. As you can see, in the previous episode, I do believe we built these walls and some of these buildings. And on a live stream a while ago, we even made a blacksmith. And this stuff here I did off camera. This is the official entrance to our town via carrot. It goes straight down to bedrock because this is a mining town after all. And you might be wondering, hey ODST, we're going straight down to bedrock. How do you get back up? Do you have to run up all these stairs? No. I thought of that too. As you can see, I have been doing some mining while I was down here too. But we just go straight up this water elevator, and this will take us into a cave. A very man-made cave, but a cave nonetheless, underneath our mining town. And speaking of our mining town, I have gotten many resources to help finish up these buildings here. And we have so many villagers in this place that we're actually spawning 3 iron golems, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for a village of this size, it's quite the few. That's mainly because I've been throwing beds here, there, and everywhere. I'll probably spread these beds out instead of adding more, especially in this building here. I don't want more beds. I don't want more villagers because, to be quite frank with you guys, we don't have enough jobs for the amount of villagers that we have without adding jobs to villagers that didn't initially have jobs here. Speaking of which, you might remember when we first came across this village, there wasn't a blacksmith. Now, the reason why I've decided to add one in is because 1, it's a mining town, they'd need a blacksmith to make and repair their tools, and 2, the job that I'm replacing them with is the cleric, which is a huge church. And to be frank, I just don't think a village of this size would warrant having a church. It just isn't big enough. Those would be for like towns or something, or cities. So we are replacing the clerics with our blacksmiths, our weaponsmiths, our toolsmiths, and guys, I really love what I did with the interior here. I'm very happy with it. We have our stall for where our, guy will be like, hey, you're looking to protect yourself or deal some damage. So you can see right there. And then we have our weapon and tool racks, which I really, really love. If you're wondering how I did this, I used the armor statues data pack. Which just allows me to place weapons and tools in armor stands' hands and turn said armor stands invisible. If I was to make these guys visible again, you'd see just how contorted they are. But I really like it. I think it adds a whole lot to something that doesn't add too much. We have our blast furnace for one of our villagers and a furnace and whatnot, so they can do some forging in here. And don't worry, all the fumes will get vacuumed out via the chimney right up here, which I'm very happy with. Now, there's something else that I have added to this world since the last time we've played in it, and that is the Zeros minimap mod, which I'm adding the fair game version of it, which is, it's just a minimap. It doesn't allow me to see anything else, and I just wanted a top-down view of our place, because, let's be honest, I really like what this looks like. Obviously, I'm going to have map rooms and whatnot, but just being able to see this stuff on the go is really, really nice. I really like it. So we're keeping it. And it does not work underground. We don't have cave maps because I feel like I've disabled it. I feel like if I was in a cave and I could see through caves underground to see other caves and whatnot, it doesn't really make sense because one, I'm not seeing them myself, and two, it's just kind of cheaty. So anyways, without further ado, because this intro has been quite long, I'm going to kick this thing off into time-lapse mode where I'm going to start finishing up some of these builds. And an Enderman just despawned, or did something. Oh, before we do that, let me show you guys. This is the entrance to our village. I can't remember if I showed them off last episode. But basically, we just have some carpets on some signs in a pit. That'll stop any mob who gets past the rails. And they'll just start spinning out and freaking out because their AI doesn't work. Now, the only thing it doesn't work on is spiders, which is fine. I don't really care about spiders. They don't come around here too much in the first place. But it pretty much stops every other mob. Zombies, creepers, skeletons, our villagers especially. They don't leave out here, which is nice. They don't see this as a viable way to go. So they just stay within the boundaries of the village, which I really... Sir? Sir? Hey! Sir? Oh! Stand still! Trying to get him right in the eyes. There you go. The power of sight beseech you, my friend. Come hither. Give me your ender pearls. Oh, where'd you go? Oh, there you are. There we go. Got some ender pearls. Nice. Awesome. Alright. Let's get into this time lapse. Let's finish up this village, because we have a whole lot to do. I'm planning to add in so many more buildings that aren't already laid out. Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that time lapse. We are back in here on the ground view, and I gotta say, I love the feel of this village so much. Just the chimneys and the houses and the lights. I'm running some shaders right now, BSL, just to get like that bit more ambience. And you'll also notice there are some moss carpets laid around. What I have done is I've completely 100% mob-proofed this entire area inside. And you'll see, excuse me, inside our village and just a bit outside of it, it's a bit greener, and that is all the moss on the ground right now. Now, I haven't had any problems of mobs spawning up on this cliff face and dropping down into the village. I'm future-proofing, because I really don't want to come back here and have the entire village be infected. But but I do think that this is a good solution in the meantime, we don't have to have torch spam everywhere in the first place, and it looks like I've actually missed some places, which means without torch spam we can actually have some ambient lighting, like so we can have these dark spots here and not have to worry about like zombies and creepers and skeletons spawning, because they can't. It's all carpeted, and that will stop them. So we can have like this big dark spot here, and we don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to spam these lights everywhere either. I don't have to spam torches on the ground. It's all completely mob proof. And for all intents and purposes, this village is pretty much complete. Now, I haven't done the interiors of, I don't think any of the new buildings that I've added so far have any interiors. In fact, this one is completely missing its fireplace. But that is something for me to do by myself, because interiors on camera, at least in my opinion, aren't the most exciting thing. Plus, a lot of these places look very similar, just a little different. And this can go away. Just a little different. I will be putting interiors in all of these. They're not all going to be super detailed like the blacksmith is, but I will have them be somewhat detailed. Now, I am a bit concerned about how dark it is around here, but I'm pretty sure that's just the shaders that I'm using. This should be all spawn proof, and I'm not entirely sure how I feel about these stands here. I don't want them to be too big, but the stone and the angle of it looks a bit iffy, but it's not something to cause too much concern. And it does look like some of these villagers are getting themselves a little bit confused on the new topography of this place. Just gonna change this out to match every other one that we have in town, or at least they're not pathfinding to their beds. Now, I did have a guy all the way over here that I had to shove all the way over here before he started, you know, properly pathfinding. I'm wondering if this is an issue of lack of beds, or if it's an issue of the carpets are just interfering with its ability to pathfind. I'm gonna push it all the way over here and see what he does. Yeah, I think it's just proximity. This village is so large and there's so much dead space out here that I'm guessing the villagers are just having a hard time pathfinding maybe to beds. If I place a bed all the way over here, you will pathfind to it. I know that for sure. Yeah, look, go straight for it. I'm guessing we don't have enough beds for the amount of villagers that we, ooh, yeah. So that was 2 villagers that just came out. So these guys are full. These guys are full. I think those are the only beds in the entire place. So we have some beds to place down, which I don't mind. The population of this village is definitely booming since its original, I believe. I do think we are missing some professions, so I will be adding those in later at some point. But for the most part, this place is pretty much done. We have our train station down below. We have our mine down below with our train station. We are completely connected up to our base. Ooh, and you know what? I almost completely forgot to talk about this. This is a little windmill that I brought over from the previous world. I went in there, took some screenshots of some of my former villages and towns and cities, and I really like this windmill. Still gotta add some cattle into the cattle pen. I'll probably add a couple more fields, add a bit more detail here and there, just to make this village feel a bit more full. As you can see, we have a huge empty lot right here. So what I'll probably do is I'll add like a outside storage area, exposed storage area for all the ores that they pull up. So I'll pull it in some ore blocks and some raw ore blocks, the whole lot. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it here for today's episode. If you liked the video, leave a like, leave a comment. If you're super duper awesome, even consider subscribing. I'll see you guys in the next episode. As always, peace out.